like it was jumping into several intros. Hello, guys. Good morning. Okay. I have so much to tell you. Um, what's up? Oh boy, I got people from the game I've been playing. Ebony in the chat. Hello, TL. Is it T Liger 1208? Let me say hi to everybody in the chat. Um, Seems to be fine now. Okay. Let me say hi to everybody and then I'll tell you what's been going on with my computer. All right. So, hello Animal Science TV. I think I saw Mr. Shadow Kitty was up in there. Missy Ann's here. What's going on? So seems to be fine now. Okay. All right. So, if you're new, I stream to several platforms. I stream to DLive, Facebook, Periscope, and YouTube. So my computer has been absolutely crazy, and so I haven't been doing regular streams like I want. And some of the stuff that you were seeing before is part of the growing pains, I think, associated with OBS at the moment. I had to redo all of my scenes in the software. If you're not familiar what OBS is, it's open broadcasting software. So I've had to go through and redo stuff, which it's fine, but it has been an utter nightmare trying to deal with my computer. So also, I still got my doggy cam with little Nina, my co-host. She's hanging out here today. OBS is a pain. So I didn't super plan this stream. I just was mostly trying to see if I could get it to work. Normally I'm a bit more organized than this, but that's okay. So that's all right. Coming in clear. Hey, Christina. Hey, Sinister Porpoise. Defend me, please. Hello. Got people from my game I've been playing for the past month or so. Ebony. If you're not on there, let me know. You can come join our server. It'd be fun. I've had the same nightmare computer crash twice and I lost all my graphics. Is there anything even better than OBS? We all use it. Other streamers. Hey, Nether. So other streamers use OBS as well. It's free, which makes it really nice. The other option would be vMix, but that stuff is like $800, $900 in a lot of cases. I've thought about maybe splitting the cost of that with some other streamers to where we each have a license. StreamYard isn't free, and StreamYard also does not broadcast to multiple channels. So that's a real pain. So yeah, Relive is pretty good if you have AMD cards. Yeah. I'll check into that. I mean, I use Restream, but Restream doesn't have all of the stuff that you can, well, I mean, it does have some of the stuff you can do with OBS, but I mean, I do pay for a little bit of Restream. I should probably consider maybe using that, but it's just been, God, I've had lots of grievances with this. Oh, StreamYard does broadcast to multiple channels. Well, I'll be honest. StreamYard was the first issue that I started to have with my computer. And everything was running fine until I started using StreamYards. And then it's just been downhill ever since. So what's been going on? This was the other hold screen that I had. Michael Roble says, blame it on Hugo Chavez and Dominion. Meow, maybe. That looks pretty neat. Doesn't really seem like StreamYards, but this isn't the Porpoise Tech Support Show. Are you sure, Porpoise? Are you sure? Okay. So, what I thought I would do today, I normally pull my science news from the National Science Foundation. They have a really great app you can even put on your phone. So I thought we could kind of pick through a little bit and see what we like, what we want to talk about this morning. So let's see if, oh, that works. That's nice. I think if everything goes well, I haven't put in all of the script for StreamYards. If I start pulling StreamYards out here, it's going to like, I fear for my computer. But I'm probably going to do a show tomorrow with Nervardia, who is in Australia, Marrow, This Week in BS. I'm not certain what we'll talk about, but there you go. It'll be all right. There's lots of bad science available. Let's blow this up a bit, if I can. Let me blow. Whoop, that's really big. All right, cool. Oh, gosh. Yeah, we could talk about this. Decommissioning of Arecibo Observatory's 305-meter telescope due to safety concerns. Let's read what the National Science Foundation, if you haven't heard about that, this is kind of sad news for us, particularly for astronomers. This huge observatory, this 305-meter telescope. It's been featured in a lot of different films. I think this was the one that was featured in Contact, based on the Carl Sagan book, where they were the SETI. Part of that. I think part of this they shot here, and they also shot in other places where they're able to move, like the radio. The radio telescopes, listening for different sounds outside of our planet. Stuff that doesn't sound like regular star noise, So this is what the National Science Foundation has to say. As of 4 days ago, during ongoing aerial drone surveillance of the Arecibo Observatory's 305-meter telescope, engineers observed additional breakages on the exterior wires of the remaining cables attached to Tower 4. This is the same tower to which the failed auxiliary cable and the broken main cable were attached. Safety is National Science Foundation's top priority as engineers continue their work on a safety plan for the 305-meter telescope decommissioning process. NSF will continue to assess the situation and use every available resource to determine a safe path forward. So they're breaking down the telescope, which is really sad. But, with time, everything kind of breaks down. But you can check this out. I'll put this in the chat here so you can have a look. Let me pull up my Restream chat. So you can read along with it. Hello, Harmonica Man. Never again. How are you doing? There may be people in the chat I haven't said hi to. So let me say, hey, I think I said hi to you, Nether, but I'm not certain. So I'll say hello again. Let's see. Harmonica Man, what's going on? Alrighty. Warning dumb racist people. Sometimes the names of people on the YouTube channels are just so funny. Warning dumb racist people. How you doing? How am I going to say hi to a name like that? Warning dumb racist people. How you doing? They say, yeah, this telescope needs to go, unfortunately, but it's not like we can't have another one. That's true, as long as we have funding to build another one. That's how that goes. If we don't have funding to build another one, then that's a big problem. But, so there you go. So, I mean, that's what it comes down to, frickin' funding. It always comes down to funding. I've applied for a couple of grants. 2 grants that should have been shoo-ins. That they said, no, we don't need open education resources in chemistry for minorities. We don't need that. We don't need Well, it's just I have filled out grants to try to give, basically to develop free educational resources that can be used by any college that would benefit the college where I work. And, they were like, "Nah, mate, we good." And I'm like, the majority of like the students that attend the college where I work, 70% poverty line. So we spend a lot of time having to use creative means to get them quality content that's not ridiculously expensive. And since I have a full setup like this, I'm like, hey, let's write a grant to where I can work with other professors and develop content that's free for any college. And they're like, nope. And I went, okay then. And I've done this. I've filled out 2 grants. I don't know if the second one will go through or not. The first one, they were like, nah. But that's a lot of its funding. Are they going to give you money to do the stuff or not? I'm fortunate that a lot of the stuff I have is from patrons and crowdfunding and things like that. But if you don't have the money, we won't get another one. So that's where I'm kind of concerned about that. Warning dumb racist people says, my name is in making of warning good people. Vaughn and emo howling wolf. I'm warning people of the racists. Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Usually they're nowadays they're pretty out in the open. So they almost wear signs now. So and Never Again says, and content that they can actually enjoy, engage in, and learn stuff in a fun way. Shake said they are hopelessly lost in normal. Does Bill Gates fund any astronomy stuff? That's a good question. I know a lot of his funding is more education oriented. There's a county not far from me where they received a grant to train teachers on how to be more engaging, to give them a person that is a support person. So there was a position developed just in the county next to me where their whole job is teacher support. And that was funded by the Bill Gates Foundation. So it's possible that Bill Gates might have a grant associated with that. I know he does a lot of work in funding vaccines. He does malaria. He funds malaria research. He funds HIV research. So that's possible. All right. Bill Gates is too busy funding microchips to place in COVID-19 vaccines because cell phones don't exist, apparently, says Sinister Porpoise. That was just one of the funniest things about that. You can have a conversation. If you have Google or you have Facebook on your phone, you can have a conversation about something that you want to purchase. And guess what ads are going to pop up next? Facebook is listening to you. You think you're worried about a microchip in a vaccine? You're not worth it. We already have tracking stuff on our smartphones. You have to jump through so many hoops just to get that stuff turned off. It's automatically default, So it's like, why in the world would people put microchips in vaccines when you got a smartphone? It's just, you already signed away everything doing that. I think that was probably one of the funniest conspiracy theories I've heard this year. So I wonder how much control he keeps over those grant monies. Well, in my limited experience when it comes to grants, they want to fund And even in the Bill Gates Foundation is a nonprofit organization. It is not a for-profit organization. So we have a lot of thanks that we should give Bill Gates, particularly with the advances we've had in fighting malaria. We have that, the advances we've had in HIV. He has a program where you can get all your kids vaccinated for free. I mean, he pays for that. So I doubt very seriously he has a hand so much in what gets funded or not. He has people for that. My friend Doc Savage, the Gates Foundation has called him in the past and paid him for his time to check their numbers. Doc Savage is he's highly cited. He has a massive CV. It's 13 pages long with an appendix. Sent it to me once because he was kind enough to give a talk at my college, and I'm very grateful for that experience. That opened up. We were able to have him on, and he talked. It was a broadcast, an interactive broadcast between 4 campuses at the college that I work at, so where I teach. And so we were able to connect people from 4, at least across 3 different states in 4 different campuses, to come together and ask him questions about vaccines, vaccine technology, pandemic response, immunology. It was a wonderful experience. So if the Gates Foundation, I know for a fact, contacts him to check their numbers, and I personally know Doc Savage, they're going to the right people. So that's what I have to say. All righty. Let's see. I think Gates is more into saving humanity now. I think so. Harmonica Man says, Mel, you look comfy in this. I do. It has a hood, too. I could put it up. Let me put up my hood. You know. Here we go. There. Am I cool now? Now that I got my hood up, does this make me cool? Be like, what's going on? See, if I put my hood up, does that mean it's like a hoodie sweater? So it's like, am I cool now? Am I one of the cool kids? Doc Savage is savage. I adore Doc Savage. He's one of my favorite people on the planet, and he's a very dear friend. And I'm better for knowing him. Yeah. ScientistMel is rocking her Emperor Palpatine. Do it! Dun dun da da dun da da dun da da. Oh God, have you heard JJ Pearson? We had a few people pop in. The Lavender Scrooge. Good morning. BigZebra.com. How you doing? Dinah Cat loves me. What's going on? All right. You are always cool, ScientistMel. I try to be. It depends on who you ask. Some people hate my guts, and, they're just going to. There's nothing I can do, and I'm not going to worry about it. It depends on who you ask. Some people think I'm a dork. So. J.I. Pearson says, have you heard about the total culling of all mink in Denmark due to COVID-19 being able to jump between mink and humans and able to mutate, endangering the vaccines under development? I haven't. Let me look that up, and then we can talk about that. Thanks for that question. So let me pull that up really quick, because that's a good topic. Mink culling COVID-19. Google is our friend, isn't it? Okay. I found something on Forbes. Let me see. Okay. I'm trying to find a science source for this. Why is it pulling up Yahoo? Give me freaking Google, man. Okay. See, so I'll just share what I'm looking at, and then we can talk about it and see how do I determine what's a good source or not. Um, I don't know what it is. I type in google.com and it thinks it's a freaking Yahoo search. I don't want that. Ugh. Okay, going back. I'm just gonna go back here. I ain't got time for this. All right. Denmark moves towards digging up zombie mink killed in COVID killing. It's a mink rethink. So I'm finding stuff. Okay. So this was 4 days ago. Let's have a look on Forbes and see what Forbes has to say. Okay. All right. So Polish scientists. So this is at, oh gosh, I'm not going to say this word right, am I? The University of Dansk. Is the G silent? I'm not certain. I don't say that so great. So I apologize if I say this word wrong. I've now moved. Oh God, this is going to be weird. I'm going to be looking over here, but it's there. So this is strange. I need to switch my monitors. I told you. Computer nightmare, man. Utter computer nightmare. So they think that this is going to be necessary to, let me copy this. I'm just going to move it over here so I have another spot to look at it. All right. Okay. So that way I don't look like I'm looking in the wrong direction. See, aesthetics are everything, aren't they? All right. So they think a cull might be necessary. So if you have a look on this particular link, and I can put that here. You have a go. Control V, and you can look at it with me. All right. So this is in Forbes. It's a large producer of mink. It began testing farmed mink for COVID-19 after outbreaks tore through herds. Reuters reports that industry groups oppose the measures. Okay, so this is part of the fur industry. I don't necessarily agree with the fur industry. I think it's pretty bad. Ganks. Oh, I don't. Okay, Head Cynic says, is it Gdansk or Gdansk? Is that how Gdansk? Is that it? Head Cynic, how I pronounce that. Okay. Have I tried making random changes to the Windows registry? I would never do that, Sinister Porpoise. I'm afraid of messing up everything. So I think I don't necessarily agree with the mink or the fur industry. PETA, though. Okay, so PETA's celebrating this. I hate PETA. Or PETA, or whatever you want to call it. I hate them so much. They've blocked me on social media because they want that they're a brand. They're not an activist group. They're a brand. They spend more money on marketing than they do anything else. They have no reacclimation programs. They kill more cats than they adopt. Same with dogs. They're like, well, we want to prevent animal suffering, but they have no interest in preservation, conservation. They don't do anything like that. They just go out and kill animals and goes, yay, they're not suffering anymore. That's literally what PETA does every single freaking time. And I asked them how many animals they killed last year, a few years ago, and that's what got me blocked. So I'm trying to find. See, the problem that I have with articles is like this is that they don't get into the science on it. They just say, "Oh, it's happening." They're particularly susceptible to the coronavirus. The situation worsened in farms where they are kept in large numbers and close proximity. Well, yeah, I mean that's how things spread. When you're packed together side by side, it's going to go hopping across us. Can we get, here's the question. Can humans contract viruses from mink? Okay, I've got the World Health Organization. That's better. Here we go. That's better than frickin' Forbes. Forget Forbes. They don't tell me anything. The World Health Organization is a better option because of the fact that the people who run that are scientists. Isn't that funny? The people who put out this information are scientists. All right. So, World Health Organization. Reputable site to go to, particularly if you're trying to figure out what's going on with the Rona. Even though we've had in the U.S. Trump and his administration, it's fake news. So yeah. I hate Heat Shield. How you doing, by the way? Pete has blocked me. Laughing in Disbelief says, this is my first vegetarian holiday season. I did go vegetarian for a few years. So I've done that before. I don't know if it's conducive for me now, if that would work 100%, but I do lower my meat intake. I eat more vegan stuff. Like, I'll have like a Boca burger, which is like a soy burger. So I lower my meat intake, but I don't completely get rid of it. So I get that. People are upset about these minks, but fur farms been running for years in Finland, Asia, etc., killing and sometimes skinning animals alive. Says warning dumb racist people. Yes. So hello, laughing in disbelief, late as ever. It's okay. It's okay. Juv, what's going on? How you doing? You might search COVID-19 cluster 5. Well, let's see what the World Health Organization has to say about this. This is SARS-CoV-2, which is COVID-19. That's another technical term for it. So these particular cases have been identified in Denmark with SARS-CoV-2 variants associated with farmed minks. Okay. You're going to have mutations with this particular virus. So I discussed this in another live stream where I was talking about RNA viruses. RNA viruses have a high mutation rate because of the nature of RNA and RNA polymerase. So this isn't surprising, okay? This isn't surprising. This isn't unusual. This is expected. You expect RNA viruses to mutate. That's Frodo protecting me from the neighborhood cats and possibly a squirrel. To be fair, since Frodo has been in my house, we have not had any cat invasions. We've had no successful ninja invasions or pirate invasions. He's completely protect us from all those things. So he's doing a great job. He's protected us from family and mailmen, male people, I'd say male persons, letter carriers. Frodo has protected us from every single possible threat that could ever happen, including aliens. Not had a single alien or dinosaur attack since Frodo's been here, so he's doing great. So yeah, from family, yeah. My family's tried to come over a couple of times, to drop stuff off prior to the Rona, and they're like, oh, hey, look. And so it's like, had Frodo a couple years. And I was like, he's so cute. And Frodo's like, ah! He's this big black dog and sweetest pie, but scares the crap out of my family. So he's doing a good job, I guess, protecting us from everything. And then I got little Nina here who just tolerates him. She's like, yeah, it's just another Saturday, huh? Little Neen. Little Neen. So back before, I had the dog alarm going off. So with the coronavirus and this particular mink-associated variant. Okay. So it has this particular strain has moderately decreased sensitivity to neutralizing antibodies. So it seems that we can get viruses passed on from minks. I knew we could from pigs and certain types of animals because we're more closely related to them more genetically than certain others. But there you go. So all right. So what I'm seeing here for this World Health Organization, preliminary findings indicate that this particular mink-associated variant identified in both minks and 12 human cases. Okay, so this variant is in both. Okay. This doesn't necessarily mean that it's been passed from minks to people, but that's something that we need to determine. And so what they're doing is, looks like they're going to cull them anyway, just in case that there is a transmission concern. Additionally, spillback human to mink transmission can occur. Well, never mind. There it is right there. All right. People can then transmit this virus okay, so we can get it from minks. So I wasn't certain if that was an animal that we could get viruses from, but apparently it is, like we can with pigs and certain other animals. So what does that mean? So it can moderately, it's a moderately, where was that statement? Moderately decreased sensitivity. So antibodies essentially are the things that gunk up the receptors on a virus that keep it from entering into a human cell. So what can happen with mutations? So far, the mutations that we've seen have not changed those receptors on the outside. Therefore, a response, as far as like antibody response, it's still effective for that as far as like attaching to the virus and neutralizing it. That's the thing. The antibodies neutralize the virus and prevent it from entering into your human cells. Now that we have this right here, to neutralizing antibodies, that's the sentence that's a little bit scary. But we need further information, because if it's moderately decreased, maybe that's resolved with a couple booster shots. You see what I'm saying? Much like you get booster shots for MMR or you get booster shots for tetanus, the immunity might be able to wear off, but then you just get another vaccine. You can get like a flu vaccine every year because it changes so much. But as long as if it's the same type of antibody and you just need to get like a booster shot for a stronger response, that's something that can happen as well. So don't really be freaked out too much until we have more information, because vaccines can also elicit a strong T cell response. T cells are just as important as antibodies because, they're the ones that go in. They're the assassin T cells. They're the ones that go through and handle all of that. So while this might be kind of scary, it's expected. Expect an RNA virus to mutate, because it will. It's just the mutations that we've seen so far have not changed that receptor. And to be quite honest, it's not likely that it's going to change that receptor very much, because that receptor is a beneficial receptor for the virus. Well, what does that mean? Well, you have that same, okay, so the virus has a key, right? It has a key to get into the lock of the cell houses, right? Well, the lock that's on those cells are the same on just about every cell in your body. So it would be really counterproductive to the virus to change its method or mode of entry into a cell, particularly if it's really good at it. And so this particular lock, or this particular mode of entry of the cell, it's the ACE2 receptor, that is on so many cells of your body. It's able to infect multiple organs. That's why we see people with multiple organ issues associated with COVID-19. So while this is like, it's expected that it would change, but it's not scary right now as far as vaccines. It just means we might need to get more vaccine, like more booster shots. So don't freak out just yet. Let's see what they come up with if there's a change in receptor. Because, if it does change in receptor and it ends up changing to a receptor or a cell that has that mode of entry is not on every cell in your body, that's actually beneficial for us. So although the vaccine may not work towards that particular strain, if it's a less harmful strain because it changed its receptor, that's good. So try to keep that in perspective there when you're worried about it. Let me have a look at the chat while, we got this going on. But that was a good question. That was a good question. Thanks for bringing that up. Alrighty. The World Health Organization has reported we're all doomed. I don't think it's as bad as that. If everybody, the Rona, not Rhoda. Rhoda was a TV show in the 70s, right? Big Zebra. Yep. Oh my goodness. Yes, Sinister Porpoise. Frodo has protected us from the Nazgul. There have been 0 Nazgul attacks since, we've had Frodo. No Gollum attacks either, man. It's great. It's great. Man, climate change is a major concern, Head Cynic. Including that all coffee could become decaf, since a decaf coffee with a dominant decaf gene could cross-pollinate. Oh my goodness. See you later, Animal Science TV. Are they going to cull the infected humans too? Oh my goodness. We're kind of already doing that to ourselves, aren't we? We're just kind of doing that already by not wearing masks and stuff. Only half joking. Sorry. Oh goodness. Oh gosh. I'm catching up on everything. We won't get rid of COVID even with a vaccine. It's too deeply rooted into the population and split into too many strains. Vaccines will make things better, but we will have another COVID season. Yes, and it's an RNA virus. It's going to mutate. And I equate an RNA virus with mutations to like going to a casino and having unlimited nickels. If you're given unlimited nickels and you're at a slot machine, eventually you will hit the jackpot. And that's kind of how mutations work with RNA viruses. People are unlimited nickels. The more people you allow access to an RNA virus, the more likely you're going to have a mutation that's going to hit the jackpot and it's going to wipe a lot of people out. And we're seeing some of that right now. It is mutating into various strains that are more virulent, easier to transmit, and the amount of viral load plays a big role too. Certain strains have 200 times the amount of viral load in the body than other strains do, which means it's able to affect multiple organs. And this is where we see a lot of people who have a very bad response. And, and not a bad, it's an expected response, but it's the bad cases are associated with that. Hello, Pip Boykin. How you doing? PZ Myers. How you doing, PZ? Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I'm not too worried about a radical mutation in the virus. I'm not either. I mean, it's just, which it's not going to be that much. So the bad thing about not wearing masks is that it enables infection of other people. That's correct, PZ Myers. This is the unlimited nickels I'm talking about. So if you're talking about a random mutation that has mutated in minks and hit 12 people and they're doing what they can to figure out what it is, not too worried about that. Alrighty. John Cleese too. Ugh, sorry, I stayed up too late listening to someone tell me what an evil person I am, said Sinister Porpoise. I missed the John Cleese thing. I apparently missed that. So if somebody wants to shoot that link to me. Yes, it never hit me until this past year how little average people care about life or anyone else or even their own family, says Head Cynic. Well, I think when you're in a situation where, if you're in a situation where your government doesn't take care of you, or you're not working, you're taught pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, there's no help. People aren't going to care so much about other people if they don't know how they're going to put food on their table. It's very, very hard to care about somebody else's problems when you're in a horrible situation, and if you're persistently in that situation. One thing that I've learned, particularly where I teach, I spent several calls with students talking about how they lost their job because the pandemic, now they have to deliver pizzas all the time in order to just make a living. Even though their tuition was free, okay, they didn't have the time to complete their work. And so you're dealing with people who, and even though, they're good people, they're trying, to follow, they wear the mask, they do all of that. You have the flip side of that to where you may have people that are trying to do better and working on that. And then you have the other side where they're like, what's the point? So it's not something that's so easily just cut and dry. We're not taking care of our own. And since we're not taking care of our own, why would they care about taking care of other people? We have a huge distribution of wealth problem in the U.S. Healthcare is a big issue. They're like, why do we care? So it's like, what do you do? But I completely understand. I see both sides of that because I've having to work with people who are 70, like I said, 70% of the students we see or we work with are poverty line. So it's like, I have spent a lot of this semester on calls with students, helping them develop study plans to work around their ability to survive. So when that is the huge case there, and that's the thing that people are struggling with, or they've lost a family member or a family friend, or they don't know if they can even finish college. These are smart people that can do the work and are capable of getting a good grade. And it's just like, I mean, they're worried about their family. They're worried about putting food on their table. I mean, it's just, there's so much there that's not being taken care of. So I can understand why people would not care, but I also need them to care so we can take care of all the other things too. So it's hard. It's not like a simple conversation you can have. Nether says, ScientistMel, I think the reverse is more fitting. RNA virus is like a casino with unlimited slot machines. People keep throwing in coins, and no matter how many, when the house always wins. That's possible too. Yep. Let's see. Cleese revealed how anti-trans he is. Oh gosh, Peasy, that's what he did. Never meet your heroes, right? You'll just be disappointed. Although I did meet Kevin Smith. I hung out in his living room and we did a podcast episode together, which was really awesome. He's a genuine human being, so that was a really nice hero to meet. Kevin Smith, who played Silent Bob. I have his shoes over here. That sign that say we're Twitter married, so that means it's official. Kevin Smith and I are Twitter married and have been for a while now. Let's see, about 8 years? Something like 8 years. So, but, oh, God. That's pretty disappointing for John Cleese. How incredibly disappointing. But, you know, it shouldn't be surprising. A lot of people are coming out with their bigoted ideologies because they're emboldened to do so. And so the more people that talk about how this is a thing, and the more the more coverage they're given, then we get the bandwagon bias. People are going to start believing that it's true. And the more that's the thing. So the more people who believe a particular thing to be true, even if it's not, that influences other people to go, oh, hey, this is true because look at all these other people who believe that. That's bandwagon bias. Hello, Greg Lira. How you doing? Taco Junkie. Do not understand what you are saying there on DLive. What's going on? Catching up. Oh, okay. So you're a white liberal. Clearly you base your info on feelings, not reality. No, that's not what I do at all. But thanks for trying. I'm a scientist first, and I look at the evidence and the data, and then I formulate my feelings based on that. But I'm also a human being, and I recognize that there are other human beings and they struggle. That's also, reinforced by facts and data. But hey, you do you. It's all right. And chronic stress does bad things to the brain in terms of making good choices. That's true, Jav. That's true. Laughing in disbelief. So after a quick Googling, I found out RNA viruses aren't as good at proofreading as DNA. Ergo, RNA is more mutated. That's correct. That's due to polymerase, RNA polymerase. So when it makes copies of itself, it doesn't go back and proofread like DNA polymerase does. And so you have a high incidence of different types of mutations, whether it's substitution, insertion, deletion, any of those where you add or remove or swap out different coding. So when it's copying the genetic code, sometimes it copies it wrong and throws in the wrong nucleotide, and then you end up with a different protein. Sometimes it's beneficial, and sometimes most of the time it's not. Most of the time RNA mutations they just don't do anything, or they're debilitating for the virus. But every once in a while it hits, and then you end up with something better. It's nice to know we got a racist on DLive. I'm just going to ignore you, Taco Junkie, but you post whatever you want, boo, okay? All right. Hey, One Clown Shoe. What happened with John Cleese? He's anti-trans then. I guess he supports J.K. Rowling. So I guess that... Does that mean I have to... Am I canceling Monty Python now? Because then that's canceling everybody else who contributed to that work. Maybe just John Cleese. We can enjoy Monty Python and say John Cleese is a jerk. Or how does that work? Because it's like I can't listen to Michael Jackson now. I have a really hard time listening to Michael Jackson, knowing what he did to kids. And so it's like, I don't know how to bridge the two. You know what I mean? Alrighty. I'm checking. Let's see. I'm checking the chat, catching up. Oh my goodness. All right, so let's move on to something that's not sad and depressing. What else have we got on NSF, National Science Foundation? Let's have a look and see if there's any, interesting, because we have been on for about an hour now. There's a lot of really cool stuff here. I need to probably put this on the other screen so it doesn't look like I'm looking at the wrong way. Okay. All right. So let's have a look. What do you guys want to talk about? We've got neurons stripped of their identities, our hallmark of Alzheimer's disease. We've got scientists discovered an ancient lake bed deep beneath the Greenland ice. We have noise and light pollution affect breeding habits in birds. Earliest example of rapid-fire tongue found in weird and wonderful extinct amphibians. Let's hear about rapid-fire tongue. What do you think about that? Rapid-fire tongue, guys. Have you had a little rapid-fire tongue this morning? If not, hold on to your butts. Because we've got an extinct amphibian that has a slingshot-style tongue. Oldest evidence of having that. How cool is that? Give the rapid-fire tongue a kiss, says Greg Lira. Oh my gosh, how are you going to do that? What if that hurts? Rapid-fire tongue. Now my mind's going to dating. Rapid fire tongue sounds like a winning Tinder username. Would that be painful though? If you were to kiss somebody and they had a rapid fire tongue, does that cause bruising? Or, is that like a stinging sensation? So what do you guys think? A rapid fire tongue. Slingshot style tongues. All right. Here's what it had to say. And I'll put this essentially here. I'll put it in the chat. You guys can take a look. If you want to click on that and have a read. Jar Jar Binks plushie with electronic projectile tongue. Things seen on sale at Walmart, says Heat Shield. Oh gosh. The stinging sensation comes after the rapid fire tongue, says bigzebra.com. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you guys can read along with this. This is nsf.gov discoveries. So these are bizarre armored amphibians. Oh gosh, here's one of those Latin words I can't say. Albaner petantids. Albaner petantids. That's what I'm going is that. That's what I think that is. Jackson Wheat would probably correct me, and so would P.Z. Myers. Be like, you are just murdering what we talk about all day. I'm a biochemist, man. Although I do have a biology undergrad, I should be able to say this word. I'm not so great at that all the time. So this was published in Science. It's of course all of the ones on NSF are all this discoveries they talk about are funded by the National Science Foundation, but they're still, they're pretty cool. You can check it out. So essentially, they have lizard-like claws, scales, and tails. These are called albies for short. Albi. They were amphibians, not reptiles, but they have like the lizard claws and scales. But that's not something that you see a whole lot. They're not. That's what you would normally see in a reptile, not an amphibian. They're distinct from their lineage was distinct from frogs, salamanders, and caecilians, and dates back at least 165 million years. They died out around only 2 million years ago. Only 2 million Christmases ago. Like, that's a thing. Or 2 million Halloweens ago. That's, but honestly, that's not as old as 165 million, right? That's date back as far as that. And they had a good run, right? 163 million years. They had a really good run. No, I'm no taxonomist. I get lost in Latin. It's like, I like calling them albies, Peasy. I do. I think that's a lot easier. They're really cute. Let's have a look at this. Let's see if we can open up this publication. Paywall or not. Let's cross our fingers. Paywall or not. Goodbye. Okay, sciencemag.org. I think that might not be. Okay. All right. This may not be super paywall. So let's have a look and see what's going on here. We can view the full. We're just looking at the abstract. Okay, default. Will it let us see? Paywall. Boo. That's one thing. We need to just, if I planned better, I could have just probably found this on ResearchGate or emailed the people directly. But, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. So we don't get to see the actual paper, but whatever. You be that way. But it's still pretty cool. So they also represent a new genus and species. Well, that's neat. Yaksha Pareti, named after the treasure-guarding spirits known as Yakshas in Hindu, and Adolf Pareti, the discoverer of the two fossils. So that's pretty neat. So Edward Stanley, who is the co-author of this, said that the director of the Florida Museum of Natural History's Digital Discovery and Dissemination Laboratory, he says, this research adds a piece to the puzzle of this obscure group of weird little animals. I mean, they got scales, they act like reptiles, they got claws, but they're amphibians, and they got slingshot tongues. I still want to know if that would hurt or not. I want to know how big this guy was. How big was this person? Animals are people in my head. At least my dog. My dog is person. Is she? Yep, she's still there. Neen. She's like, my supervisor is asleep still. My supervisor is asleep. But hey, it's all right. She demands cuddles sometimes. Okay. I'm trying. Okay, we need to know how big. I want to know how big these things are. I'm going to see if I can find how big these things are. Size. Because if that's huge, I'm really curious to see if a slingshot tongue would hurt or not. That's I want to know if they would be huge. Okay, so I found the first record. This is on NCBI, which is interesting. So let me see if I can pull this up really quick. See how big these things were. Because it's not telling me so much on here that I would like. Let's see. Do you guys see it? Anything? Oh, you guys can't see that. You guys can't see that. Okay. I want to know their size. How big is this freaking fossil? Is it tiny? Was it big? It doesn't say. National Science Foundation, do a better job. I want to know how big they are. And I'm trying to find in this, like, here's where all the fossils were. This is where we found them. Okay. This is where we found them. Okay, here we go. I see size. Okay, these are the teeth. This is the size of the teeth. It's about 5 millimeters. Okay, they're not very big. That was my question. But I want, since there's a variation, there's different species of this. I want to know how big they can get, and this isn't telling me that. Well, that's something I'm going to look for later. It doesn't tell me how big they are. Boo! But, 5 millimeters of the teeth, that means they're pretty small. At least for that species. Oh, but it's okay. All right, let's catch up on the chat. Let's see. In the section about the name choice, are they saying something about the discoverer? Yes, the person who discovered them. That was the name of that. By learning, laughing in disbelief. I'm glad you learned something. Alrighty. Oh, goodness. Catching up on the chat. Hello, Rory Katz. Hello, Critical Cripple. How you doing? Nina is so cute, isn't she? She's adorable. She is very demanding sometimes. I will be like doing some work and she will come over and walk on my laptop. She will. She will walk on my laptop and then she'll come over. Sometimes she punches me in the chest if I don't give her like a cuddle. It's weird. Karma Chameleon says Sinister Porpoise. Yeah, and Animal Science TV is talking about chameleons. It's pretty cool. Yep. This research has uncovered shrimp breaking the sound barrier while eating. I think I got sidetracked. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, so we learned about this thing. Dogs are like that, mine is. She's just telling you to take a break, says never again. That might be the case. That might be the case. Okay. Let's see. What else can we study here? Study. I say study. It's fine. I have, and I'll be quite honest, I have been up to my eyeballs in work. All last weekend, all I did was grade and grade and grade because of the fact the pandemic. I allowed late work to come in, which put a lot of work on me very, very quickly and all at once because I can't, being the professor that I am, I feel like I don't want to grade a lot of stuff. And I allowed people to redo stuff because of the fact we're in a pandemic, the world's on fire. I want people to be successful. And since I have the privilege of working at home and a lot of people do not, I was like, okay, I'll just allow people to, send all their stuff when they can, as long as they get the work done and I can get through it and put it in, then it's fine. Which meant I had a mountain of stuff to grade because we did a lot of digital labs. So I allowed them to redo stuff. I worked with them individually as needed, helping them figure out how to make graphs in Excel and stuff like that, linear functions, all that. And so it's like I was doing all of that. And then, it came down, grades were due on Wednesday by noon. And I, like an hour before, I was getting like, all of these students don't have grades entered yet. And I'm like, I know, because it's not the deadline yet, but it's okay. I like my job and stuff. But it was a lot of work. A lot of work in battling some computer issues and internet issues and grading everything and still meeting with students. I've had some 11th hour students. This is what we would call unprecedented. And I think particularly with the chair of my department is very understanding that and he supports what I do and so if I'm running a little late, I'm running a little late, but that's kind of the goal, is to evolve with the situation, So I've been up to my eyeballs all last weekend and through the middle of the week, even into Thanksgiving a bit, because I had made some entry errors that I had to go back and fix. So that's just how it is. So it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And now I'm back able to do the science communication thing a bit better. All right, let's see if we can find another cool thing. Let's see. New smartwatch app alerts deaf and hard of hearing users to common home-related sounds. That might be cool. Let's see about that. Where is that at? Right here. Let's look at some new tech. And I'll catch up on the chat while we're doing that. Oh, goodness. 2 weeks ago was midterms for you, Sinister Porpoise. I'm sorry. We're in another pandemic. Yes, never again. I love graphs on Excel. I do too. It's great. It's great. Speaking of which, I think before I jump into this, I need to plug what I'm doing soon. You want to know what I'm doing soon? Of course you do. You're like, yes, Mel. Tell us what you're doing soon. Have a go with this. There you go. Masterclass with OpenStack's PZ. I need to hit you up, man. If you're still around, I'll send you a message on Twitter. I want to see if you want to get involved in this. It's open education resources using openstacks.org. Let me pull this up. This is a free textbook that you too can download in digital form for free, or you can buy a copy on Amazon for about $40. It's a big old thick textbook. It's General Chemistry 1 and 2. I will be developing online content synced with digital labs that are appropriate to help reinforce the concept. Now, nothing's going to be as good as a wet lab where you're in lab messing with stuff, but I will be doing that. I've been looking through this book. You can go on openstacks.org. They have several different disciplines, including biology. So I'm hoping maybe I can coordinate. PZ, I'll shoot you a message and see if you're keen on that. If you wanna coordinate with me on doing one on biology. I don't have a grad degree in biology, but I know a lot about it. But maybe that's something you might be interested in. And so I'll make that available. I'm hoping to start that at the beginning of the year, start videoing content associated with that textbook where you can follow along. There's problem sets in there. I'll even make dynamic quizzes that you can take. That's kind of fun, like a game show style quiz. You can go around and test your knowledge. And I will link readily available for free online digital labs that you can use to enhance the experience of learning. So that's what I plan on doing. So here you go. Just kind of wanted to throw that out there. Alrighty. Checking up on the chat. I'm trying to make the effort never again. Yes, Mel, play that reel. Well done. There you go, never again. And thanks, Jub. I have told you more about it. Oh my goodness. There you go. It's all right. So let's get back, I guess, to this. About the smart app alert. So if you're interested in that, watch this space. Once I've got new editing software. It's actually pretty good. So thank you for people who threw that at me. DaVinci Resolve 16. I'm learning that software. It's working on my computer now. So it's 16 Studio. So I'll be using that to edit these. Maybe they should give me money. I'm not that popular yet. So there you go. But I'll be working on all that, and you'll have an entire year's worth of general chemistry, Chemistry 1 and Chemistry 2. That will be accessible to you. That's on a collegiate level. So I'm thinking about doing an intro to chem, and I'll possibly expand into analytical and possibly some biochem, which will be awesome. Maybe organic. I'll see if I can get some organic folks on with me, and maybe we can branch into that, and that'll be kind of neat. So, alrighty. Let me see. All right, so let's check out this. So this is pretty cool. We've got a smartwatch app that alerts deaf and hard of hearing users to common home-related sounds. So this is a pretty neat discovery. I'll put this in the chat here so you can find it. Sorry. And this is a new tech. So if you have a Fitbit or you have an Apple Watch or anything like that, you can link it to apps on your phone, and they can notify you when you get messages, when your phone's ringing, if you got all your steps in, that sort of thing, any health-related stuff. And this is a project that essentially it's called Home Sound, and it lets people know what's going on around in their homes. So here's this information here from this. Okay, so this technology provides people with a way to experience sounds that require an action, such as getting food from the microwave when it beeps. And this is from the lead author, Dhruv Jain, a UW researcher in the Paul G. Allen School of Computer Science and Engineering. This particular researcher, Jain, was born hard of hearing. So for Jain, the use of this watch prototype, let's see, we'll just put this here. It's right here. I use the watch prototype to notice birds chirping and waterfall sounds when I am hiking. It makes me feel present in nature. My hope is that other deaf and hard of hearing people who are interested in sounds will also find SoundWatch helpful. They started this particular type of project from something they called Home Sound, which allowed deaf and hard of hearing people that wanted to hear stuff going on. Jane used to sleep through the fire alarms. So this particular smartwatch would let you know if there was a fire alarm going on or something like that. I would think it would probably be through vibration. And so there's a lot of different data sets that the researchers have gotten. And so they used a lot of feedback from the prototype, and they used machine learning in order to classify these sounds in real time. So the researchers created a data set of over 31 hours of 19 common home-related sounds, such as a dog bark or a cat meow or a baby crying or a knock on the door. And so anytime those sounds go off, the smartwatch lets them know that something's going on. And so it has an image that pops up, or at least words. Sound watch, car honk, 98%. It was loud, letting them know how close it is or how far it is. And so that's pretty useful. I think that's a really nice application of smartwatch technology, particularly for people who are deaf or hard of hearing. Let's see. Pretty groovy. Let me check up on the chat. Oh, Mel, I already want to modify this tech using at least 2 watches so we can have stereo sensory input. If they don't do it, I'm about to do it. That's a heat shield. Well, fair enough. That is pretty cool tech, isn't it? It goes off 3 a.m. with paranormal activity, says Greg Lira. Aren't there horror movies that are associated with people who have compromised hearing or vision? I know there was one with Audrey Hepburn where she had compromised vision. It was a psychological thriller. I can't remember the name of it right off. So, gosh, I can't remember the name of it right off. But there you go. Hey guys, it's been over an hour and I haven't gotten the blue screen of death, so I guess that's pretty good. But I'm also not using StreamYards or any other video conference software. Going good so far. Oh gosh. Yes, many horror movies. Man. I wonder what it would be like. I wonder what it would be like if, I don't know. I don't know how I would feel. I don't know. I'm not really scared of the whole ghost thing. So I don't know that was just... The movies that scare me are like Psycho, stuff like that, where you've got people that are just absolutely horrible. So, yes, the airflow in my case is correct. It worked fine for a solid year. Then I started using StreamYards and all that. It's just... Most horror movies are horribly ableist until the dismemberment part shows up. Yes, I have dusted the tower recently. So maybe it's corrected. I've spent a lot of time. The Ring scares you, Greg. The Ring is not scary if you turn down the sound. Seriously. A lot of horror movies are not scary at all if you turn down the sound. I don't know what it is about sound in horror films. Maybe that's something... I mean, I know it sets the tone and the audience is trained to respond to certain stimuli because we just are. That's where Hollywood tends to have an edge on that, is they've kind of gotten Pavlovian on us a little bit, to where we respond to certain sounds and certain types of things going on. If you watch, and I actually did talk about the science of fear recently for Halloween. So, and I've done that a couple of times where I've talked about the science of fear and where that comes from. And a lot of that has to do with being programmed or trained even to respond to certain stimuli in a particular way. So, operant conditioning, that's another thing. What was the guy's name? I always forget his name. The guy who did operant conditioning. What is his name? Skinner. There you go. Skinner. That's who did that. He's the one who got the kid to be terrified of a bunny because every time he saw a bunny in front of him, he made horrible, scary sounds. So operant conditioning. So that's why if I watch certain films, if I turn down the sound, it's not scary to me at all, and hilarious often. Oh goodness, Skinner shakes fist. Skinner. BigZebra.com points to you. Yes, so Skinner. Yes, operant conditioning. That's something. That's where you're taught to behave a certain way from a specific stimuli. So sounds associated with that. Pavlov, that name rings a bell, doesn't it, Mr. Shadow Kitty? Well, let's check on the doggy. How's the doggy doing? Nina's doing fine. She's hanging out in her spot. Nothing really going on here. Being herself. Oh my goodness. Do I get extra Mel's Minions points? I need to start doing that again. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that for a second. So I do have Mel's Minions points. That's what you get for being on, for being here during a live stream, watching the streams, participating, that sort of thing. I am going to bring back giving away prizes for that. It's been really difficult since the pandemic hit because of the demands of my work. There is a lot of overlap between my work and what I do here, but you know, it's been very difficult trying to cope with everything. I'm fine. I'm all right. But it's like I never leave work. And so it's been a challenge for me to have clearly defined parameters between what's home life and what's work life. And so that's something I need to work on, because those lines blur, because it's really difficult. As cool as this room is, it's really difficult to be in this room all day, every day, doing my job. Because normally I'm more active, you know, in my actual job. I'm walking around, I'm in a lecture hall, or I'm in a room, and I'm talking with students, and I'm interacting with them. I'm getting feedback. Then I walk to the lab, then I do lab stuff, and then I can go back to my office, but I don't have to stay there. I can go over to, I had a conference room like across from my office where, you know, anytime I had office hours, I'd have students in there, and they'd be sitting around. There's whiteboards, and they'd be working on the whiteboards, doing some work. I'd help them work through problems because it was like right across the hall. Like literally, I could throw a rock and hit them. So it's just like all that change of scenery helped put me in the mindset of I'm doing my job. So when I'm here, I'm like here all the time. I don't have the interaction I have are like the one-on-one video calls I do with students. And they think they're bothering me, and they're not. It actually helps me when I have a meeting with them, because then I'm like, oh, another person. Yay. So I get to talk with you. So it's been a challenge trying to know when to turn off work. Because I have students that work during the day. I have students that work at night. And so my availability has been centered around whenever they need me. And so I'm not complaining about that. I need to do better with having clearly defined parameters for myself to where those lines don't get so blurred and I get overwhelmed. But there you go. But I am going to get back to that. I'm going to see if I can link points to specific things through Streamlabs. You can do that. If you want to do another option, I will have, you'll be able to pick something from my store, and I can just send it to you, and you can cash in points that way. If you've not checked out my store, let me go to wrong side. I need to go over here because it's over here now. going to be over here now. So I have gear. I have merch that all of the proceeds are donated to charities. So if you're one of the individuals that is able to do holiday shopping, not everybody can, and so that's okay. I do have merchandise where all of the proceeds go to charity. And that's part of my Blocked By series. Blocked By series initially started where people who have really ugly things to say on the internet, I put it on mugs, t-shirts, I turn them into a parody and then donate the proceeds to charity. That's my response to the hate that I've received, is that I don't make response videos. I don't do any of that. Those individuals are not worth my time. So I thought, well, I'll just donate it to charities, usually either people that they've wronged in the past, a charity associated with that, or charities that they hate, like Planned Parenthood. But you can find, it's currently categorized. I think Sinister Porpoise is trying to help me with that. I haven't spoken with you enough, Sinister Porpoise, about my website, so I will find time for that. I promise. I just really needed a couple days off for the holiday. I have one more course I gotta finish, but there you go. And so if you want to, we got the Block By series, all the things that are here go straight to charities. And these are the different organizations that benefit. I'm doing merch for where the proceeds go to Black Lives Matter Atlanta. Would you just shut up, man? I really need to do it. It goes, I'm speaking. I think that would be good. The Trevor Project is another organization that benefits from this. Planned Parenthood. So there's science, kind of sciencey. And then I have sciencey clothing, including accessories. Those gaiters, which are really effective in their finding with masks, because it fully covers all of that. You can get one, Marie Curie. If you've not seen Radioactive on Amazon, it's a really great film. I enjoyed it. Marie Curie, the Crush neck gaiter, #Crush, active setting, science mode. And so there's lots of different cutesy things on here, t-shirts, mugs, different things. You can have a look if you want. Vaccines and viruses, finish them, if you like a good video game reference. Just different stuff. If you know a teacher, toss a coin to your teacher, so play on the Witcher. Fibonacci, as easy as 1, 1, 2, 3. And so, entomology, bugs. But, that's all stuff that you can play around with. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't really make a lot of money off of any of that. But I know some people like unusual things and gifty things, and they're $20, $25 usually for each thing, unless you're getting like super big thing like a backpack or whatever. But but it's something to consider. And if you have ideas for merch, man, let me know. It's pretty fun. Nina is a power napper. That's right, Jeff. It's okay, bigzephyr.com. I do, and I needed to address that and talk about that. Well, thank you, Sinister Porpoise. I'll see what I can do about getting you the things that you need. I'll send you my email. That might be easier. You want a backpack? Let me see. Let me go to, you want a backpack. Let me see if I can find a backpack. I know I have one. I've got handbags. I've got tote bags. I know I have backpacks somewhere. One of my favorite shirts is my Nikola Tesla Crush shirt. Let me see if I can find a backpack really quickly. You too can have a Crush shirt with Nikola Tesla. He was into pigeons, though. Well, I think he had a romantic relationship with a pigeon. Got long sleeve shirts. Let me see. There's a lot of stuff in here. There we go. I can do a different design on a backpack. This is my Cam Girl for Science backpack. It's embroidered. But I think I have, yeah, it's like that. It's an embroidered Champion backpack. But I think I have different backpacks on here, and I can make more backpacks. I really like this one. The beatings will continue until the science improves. If you like. The beatings will continue until morale improves. Yeah, that's part of grad student series. There's a lot of fun stuff here. My elk are pantheists. That's a quote from Doc Savage. Go milk a fish was a quote from another thing. Ovaries or underees. That was a thing. Do we have ovaries or underees? That was, talking about testicles. We call testicles underees. So just, fun stuff. Different fun things. Yes. If there's a well, okay. Heat shield, that's cool. But have a look, ScientistMel.com. It's there for your perusal and your consideration. So, just different fun things. And I got pictures of stuff here. That data, though, that's some sexy data, isn't it? Oh, my goodness. So, I will be working on that and getting that together. So there will be actual prizes that you can invest your Mel's Minion points in to get to get some merch. And I will I do throw together little giveaways, and I meant to do one back in July, but the freaking pandemic and my job had me like up to my eyeballs and everything, where I pull like a thing from my back. Here, I send you like a coffee mug and a personalized limited edition artwork postcard. Throw it all in a thing, t-shirt, send it to you. I think I might do that twice a year, every 6 months. Person who has the most Mel's Minions points gets the prize. I know I've done that at least once with with last year, I think. So that'll be cool. We need a double-blind study where one group of grad students get beaten and one not, while the teachers don't know who they are beating. Who are we beating today? Oh gosh, the double-blind study on that, boy, that's difficult. The beatings will continue until the science improves. That's what it feels like. That's what grad school feels like. Oh my goodness. So, I guess we could talk about one more discovery before we wrap this up. It's been an hour and a half. It's been a little while since I talked with you guys. Okay. What do you guys think? What are you guys feeling right now? What do we want to talk about? Researchers engineer tiny shape-changing machines that deliver medicine to the GI tract. Wound healing biomaterials activate immune system for stronger skin. I don't know. That sounds pretty freaking awesome. I want to kind of see what that's about. Here we go. Wound healing biomaterials activate immune system for stronger skin. New hydrogel leads to improved tissue repair. Hydrogel. What is in this hydrogel? So this is at Duke University and the University of California. They developed a biomaterial significantly reduces scar formation after wounding, leading to more effective skin healing. All right. And so this is going to be in Nature Materials. Nice publication you got going on there. So it works with hydrogel scaffolds that create a structure to support tissue growth and accelerate wound healing. In the new study, scientists showed that a modified version of hydrogel activates a regenerative immune response, which can help heal skin injuries such as burns, cuts, diabetic ulcers, and other wounds that normally heal with significant scars. So it looks like this allows the cells to interact together. It develops a scaffold to where they can go through and interconnect and heal efficiently without any kind of scar issues. So current wound healing gels, hydrogels, as it says right here, they sit on the surface of the wound where they act as a dressing and help prevent the wound from dying out. That in turn helps the wounds heal faster, generally by scar formation. So this one doesn't rest on the surface. Microporous particle hydrogels are biomaterials that can integrate into the wound. The beads within the gel link together but leave open spaces, creating a porous structure that provides support for cells as they grow across the wound site. So there you go, guys. So it's like a little bit of a mesh kind of thing. And then the cells are able to go into those little pores and connect together. And so this allows the ability for the cells to form within like a scaffold. And then the hydrogel slowly dissolves as the cells continue to interconnect with one another, and leaving behind healed skin. Isn't that cool? That's pretty groovy. I like that. Hydrogel that promotes healing. Activate immune system. I want to know how that works. They didn't get into that so much. So, and it's nature, so it's behind a freaking paywall. Ugh. Boo. See, there's so many questions I have. Spelunking. I think spelunking would be a lot of fun, Porpoise, but I really freak out over the whole being under the ground in caves and stuff. It's just, I freak out a little bit. Oh my goodness. Okay. Peristaltic waves. Can we go surfing on them? Peristaltic waves. Barfing, your autocorrect changed barfing to surfing, Zebra. Do you want to go surfing on vomit? Not me. I do not want to go surfing on vomit. That does not sound like it's pleasing at all. The ghost town, most famous for its underground mine fire. So, okay, I feel like I need to pull this up because this completely freaked me out. So I'm going to pull this up really quickly. Let me go here, actually. I'll pull it up here. Somebody posted, and this like freaked me out. So I'm going to watch this with you guys because this was a whole lot of nope for me. Let me see if I can pull this up on my Twitters. Okay, so, hey, look, there's me right there. It's going to be like the forever screen. Currently live on Periscope. There we go. Alrighty. I posted a thing. And by the way, I made 8,000 followers. So tonight I might be doing a ScientistMel sing-along. Tonight might be, I think I'm going to do a ScientistMel sing-along. So we'll just be being silly. And because I've made it to 8,000 followers now. Woohoo. Thanks, guys. It's as long as nobody... Yeah, 8,002. Look at that, guys. So anytime I up in subscribers or followers on social media, I do a ScientistMel sing-along. So that's going to happen. All right, so let's have a look at... Okay, so this thing, man. My goodness. I want to show you this. This is like the deepest pool in the world. The deepest pool in the world. Critical cripple. Can I sing? I can sing, actually. Will I be drinking? Probably nothing heavy. Might be wine, but not going to really go beyond that. If people want to join me for the sing-along, we can do that too. Shoot me a message and we can have a sing-along together. It'll be a lot of fun. Is Stool invited? I don't know. He doesn't seem to get along so well with Mr. Celery, so I don't know. We'll have to see. So let's check this out. Here we go. Look at this. This is the deepest pool, if it will load. It was running and then it stopped. I bet if I do this and then I do this. It's not going now. Boo. See, it's like I do things and then it's like, no, I don't want to do this now. Let me refresh. Maybe if I refresh, if it's in a forever loop. Scrolling back down, scrolling back down. So I retweeted this because I was like, what? Okay. Look at this. Look at this guy. Okay, so first you're like, all right, that don't look so bad. This is okay. You're like, okay. It's moving over, and then he's like, okay. Yeah, that's pretty deep, bro. And you're like, that's really, really deep. And then you get to this giant freaking tube. I feel like my lungs aren't working right now. He's still underwater, guys. And then he gets he's sinking all the way to the bottom. And I'm like, what is this? And then he gets, I'm like, I feel like I can't breathe right now. So this is like slightly panic attack inducing. So I probably should have, did like content warning ahead of time. They got a ladder on the side. Oh my God. How's, you going to get back up? How does he, it's just legit freak me out, man. I would not do that. Oh my gosh. And no oxygen tank, Jev, right? How many atmospheres is at that bottom? Okay, let's look that up. Atmospheric pressure of the 40Y deepest pool. Okay. Okay, so here we go. This is what I found. This is the 40Y deepest pool. Let's have a look. It's in Italy. And I will post the link here. You can have a look. Okay, so this is the world deepest pool, Y40. It's an Italian project. It's made in Italy. Oh my gosh. Let's go about. So you can go swimming there right now. I want to know, and I thought I had seen something about atmospheres. Info and timetable. Maybe it's here. What in the heck? It's all in Italian, which is fine. Rebreather and technique professional courses, free dive instructors. I want to know the about. Apnea. Is there like, I want to know how much dives. That's flickering. Let me see if I can find let me see if I can find it. I'm trying to see if I can find the atmospheric pressure. It doesn't say how much. It doesn't say how much, man. I can't find a read on that, but they do have sensors. apparently. 365 days to build the world's deepest pool. I just want to hear. Here, let me look on that. About. Okay. They have a lab available. So you can actually do scientific experiments there. Made in Italy pool. Okay. Here's our specs. 60 meters of underwater caves system for every level of courses. Thermal water temperature, volume of thermal water, 4.3 meters cubed. Million cubic meters. Sorry, million cubic, 4.3 million cubic meters. I don't see any pressure readings. They have the hydraulics, electrical systems. They don't have the pressure readings. 600 people worked at the building, 4 engineering teams, 9 days to fill it up. But there you go. Would you go swimming? I wouldn't mind swimming in there. But I'm not about to go get in any kind of tubes or anything. I think I draw the line there. I'd be like, y'all gonna have to come get me. Tie a rope around me or something and jerk me back up or something. Because we'll do the whole poltergeist thing. You tie a rope around me. Carol Ann, come to the light. You know. Might have to do that. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. So yeah. 41 meters, which translates to 411 kilopascals. Okay. I would have to do, how many atmospheres is that? 411 kPa in ATM. Okay. There's like, okay, 4.0649. Thank you, Inquisitive. Thank you. I'm so tired. So 4 atmospheres. Okay. So that's 4 times the atmospheric pressure you're feeling. Approximately you're feeling out, unless you're like really high elevated in the mountains or something. Thank you for that. Liquid atmospheres and all. Alrighty, that's a lot of pressure, man. I don't know. I think I might puke. That would not be pleasant. Can you do a show about octopuses sometime? I've been learning about their behavior and they're absolutely fascinating creatures. I have. The Science of Octopi. It was a stream I did probably a couple years ago. Let me see. Frodo protecting every one of us. He's like Flash Gordon. So I need to organize my channel better. I admit that. I need to do better with that. So here we go. So if you Google, it's a while ago. It's on octopus evolution, but you can check this out. Look at me. I was so young then. 2 years ago. Probably about 30 pounds lighter. Thank you, Rona. Thank you. But yeah, there you go. Hair's about the same. But 2 years ago, there you go. June 2.5 years ago. But there you go. But you can check that out. I do have just the science of octopi, ScientistMel. I talk about octopus evolution for that one. And I do get into the octopus that can take pictures of people at a particular aquarium. Aquarium. Listen to me. Aquarium. So, yeah, that's where I'm at now. Saying the words wrong, but hey, that's okay. All right. So, hopefully I will have an episode of This Week in BS with Nervardia. The last episode we did was very, very cheeky. And we talked about all kinds of things, including supplements, particularly magnesium tablets. Are there anything associated with that? We talked about that. We also talked about the AIDS tablets, or the chewing chocolate, AIDS chocolate, AIDS, meant for weight loss. That was a very unfortunate type of branding. So you can check out that episode as well. Scientist Sing-Along tonight. Probably around 5 or 6 Central, I suppose, which would be in about 5 hours from now, something like that. Won't keep you up too late. Gonna celebrate 8,000 Twitter followers. So that's a lot of fun. So let me, you'll watch later. Yay! So I won't keep you guys on there too terribly long. Probably just a little hour of singing and being silly, and it'll get demonetized automatically. So you guys already know that, so it's fine. But yes, so I want to say thank you for being here. Nina, the science doggo, appreciates your time. She's so cute. She looks like a little Pokemon. So there you go. I appreciate you being here. I'm going to read from Mr. Rogers, and then we'll call it a day, right? All right. All right. So this is from The World According to Mr. Rogers. The monitor is reflecting a lot. The World According to Mr. Rogers. This is an understanding love. And he says, we need to help people to discover the true meaning of love. Love is genuinely confused with dependence. Those of us who have grown in true love know that we can love only in proportion to our capacity for independence. So think on that, okay? Mr. Rogers, we need to help people to discover the true meaning of love. Love is generally confused with dependence. Those of us who have grown in true love know that we can love only in proportion to our capacity for independence. So you need to be able to be alone in order to love fully. You need to know how to be alone and do things by yourself, which means self-care, guys. Take care of yourself and know how to handle yourself and deal with those things. And only through that, you don't need somebody to depend on you, and you don't need to depend on somebody else for a thing. Be self-reliant and learn to love the other person as they are. That's one of my favorite quotes by Mr. Rogers. Love is like an active noun, like struggle. You have to accept a person as they are when they're there. That's what love is. Okay, so thank you for being here. I think we'll probably do a This Week in BS tomorrow. I think it'll probably be 5:30 or 6:30 Central. 6:30 Central with Nervardia. Not certain what we'll talk about, but it'll probably be bad science. That can also, pretty certain it'll be that. And then Scientists Sing Along around 5 p.m. Central for me in about 5 hours. So I will end with this. You always make each day special for me. You know how? By just your being you. I'll see you next time. Bye.